Whereas surgeon writers are surgeons who happen to write, well, mostly about surgery. I belong to the latter category. Yes. Isn't it a shame that we surgeons are no longer allowed to just operate? We need to take part in the society, we need to be influencers, we need to be advocates for our patients when policymakers attack them. We need to cultivate new skills, including communication, and especially written communication. Well, to tell you the truth, all CanMed petals call for surgeon writers. I just highlighted those few, otherwise the slide would have been too busy. The early pioneers of surgeon writers published books. Examples include Paul of Egina, who wrote 7-volume book series, Epitome Medicae Preceptem, that translates into summary of 7 medical books. Well, does it occur to you that if this is a summary? The besetting sin of us surgeons is lack of limiting. We like to showcase our vast expertise and tend to think the more the better. Well, the first task of surgeon writer is now covered, passing on information to peers. Second task is to pass information to public. A very delicate combination of passing information to public and ego boosting is common among retired surgeon writers. I'm talking about those autobiographies with heroic stories disguised in modesty. Needless to say, I am not a big fan of that genre. However, they are popular and sell well, and I have always wondered why. If the internet search engines are to be believed, those books serve as an inspiration for aspiring surgeons and entertainment for the public, because they represent narrative medicine, a literary genre focused on the lived experience of illness, healing, and clinical medicine, written from the perspective of clinicians and patients. In plain English, they are stories. Is surgery allowed to tell stories? Does it lose its credibility? After all, we are serious professionals with serious profession. And what about the GDPR? Typically, scientific communication, such as surgery, is repetition of emotionless, objectively sterile information to increase understanding. Right. The problem is that people, whether laymen or politicians, do not make decisions based on objective scientific evidence. At this point, a plastic surgeon gallops to help you, just like in real life. Dr. Millard, who is one of the myriads of plastic surgery fathers, made 10 commandments. Of all those commendable commandments, one serves our purpose. Thou shalt have a style. Well, but not that boring, sterile style. In music, literature, and dramatic arts, we may call someone an interpreter of emotions. I understand it refers to the person's interpretation of a text or piece of music in a way that it resonates with the experiences of audience members and ideally shapes their thinking or behavior. In contrast, science communication has been described as an explanatory activity, but explaining is not the same as interpreting. I don't even like the word. To me, it smacks of a finger-whacking know-it-all person who enjoys telling others how things actually are, whereas interpretation contributes new knowledge, makes you think, and may even change the world. Well, I have one example. This is from trauma surgery. Well, in highly dysfunctional single-parent, blended family, parent narcissistic behavior and lack of emotional intelligence is a risk factor for sibling self-mutilation and hallucinatory psychosis. What a clickbait, right? But for us healthcare professionals. But for the general public, I think there are too many difficult words. And yet, we all know this story. Right, Cinderella. Compared to the fact-checked lists stories, share experiences, and rehumanize medicine. Science and surgery need stories. With the help of my superpower, imagination, I can conjure a situation where early humans sat by the campfire and listened to the elder of the tribe who told them what to do when you encounter a life-threatening trauma based on a real-life experience. The then current state-of-the-art knowledge and science was passed on in stories. This storyteller elder is the first science communicator. We should continue this legacy and interpret our knowledge and connect through written word to the society and the world, especially now, when anti-science and treatments not based in medical knowledge are being loudly advertised as the only truth by so-called influencers who did their own research. It is so important that it is us surgeons who write and talk about surgery. If we don't do it, someone definitely will. And we all know what happens then. I may be a little biased, but to answer the title I was given, yes, I think you can be a surgeon writer. We should actively support colleagues who want to be surgeon writers if we want to change the world for better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was lovely. Thank you very much.